Registering for Pulse is free and easy. Visit directaxis.co.za/Pulse today.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, last week we talked about your credit score and how you can use a free online tool such as Pulse to find out what your credit rating is. And we have Mocheko Chaka, the Growth Head of DirectAxis, here to chat about something that inevitably comes up whenever your credit scores are mentioned: blacklisting. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, Jeannie. Good to be back.
Lovely to see you again. What exactly is blacklisting, and what does it mean to be blacklisted?
You know, blacklisting is a term that I don't often like to use, but it's the one that you do find being used generally because it's a catch-all phrase that defines when you find yourself in a situation where your credit profile doesn't reflect something positive and you can't get credit. So it's always very interesting for us in the industry is to always try and sort of explain to people so that they don't see it as something menacing, like there's some secret organization putting your list or putting your name on a list and then you can't get access. What it actually means is that most credit providers utilize credit bureau information, your credit profile, to grant you credit.
Yeah.
And when there's information on there that's not positive, for example, you've missed payments or there have been judgments against your name, you won't be able to get access to that credit. Okay. And then often it's defined as being blacklisted. What's important to clarify today to people is that when you do find yourself in that situation, you can take control by using a product like Pulse to know what's happening and then take actions to resolve it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the word blacklisting, it's a little bit, or to be blacklisted, it's a little bit misleading, wouldn't you say?
Yes, it is. It is a bit misleading. I guess what's always important to me is to always, people must have a sense of control over their own lives.
Yeah.
And when it sounds like blacklisting, like something has happened to you, someone has taken an action against you.
Yeah.
And what's important to realize is that what's happening to your credit profile is a result of actions you've taken. And because you got yourself in a situation where the outcomes are that your credit profile isn't positive, you can also take actions in the other direction to correct it.
Okay.
And that's always what we have to stress, that you are in control.
What kind of behavior would you say affects your credit score? Like, how bad do you have to be?
Well, there are different degrees. For example, if you miss payments, then that gets recorded, and that can affect even your credit rating specifically, what type of interest you could get, and sometimes it could lead to the credit provider not making the decision to grant you credit.
Yeah.
Sometimes missing your payments over a series of times, and then the credit provider takes action against you and involves the law, a judgment could be placed against you. And getting yourself out of that becomes a little bit more tricky, but it still is possible to rehabilitate.
Yeah. What happens, well, what's the difference, I suppose, between having like a low credit score and being blacklisted?
So blacklisting, as the term itself, would cover the spectrum of that. So it would cover having a low credit score to having judgments.
So you're not necessarily blacklisted if you've got a low credit score?
Yes. It just means that the credit providers may take a different decision about you because the score isn't as perfect. And then it falls into the definition of blacklisting, which is why it's not always so helpful to say that someone is blacklisted. Yeah. Because sometimes it could be a low credit score that can be improved rather quickly, or it could be something that's a little bit more severe, which will take a longer time to rehabilitate. Yeah. But because it falls under this one term, it becomes very difficult to know what you have to do when you find yourself in that particular situation.
Absolutely. Yeah. And of course, you would find out if you can find out if you are in that situation by using Pulse. So to find out if you're blacklisted, to find out your credit score. But why else would you use an app like Pulse?
Well, I think what it does, it gives power back to you. Yeah. And, you know, Pulse is free, it's available. And with it, you can find out when your score isn't as perfect as you'd like or when judgments have been made. But sometimes credit bureaus get it wrong because the information is submitted about you whenever you take on credit. It tracks that. Yeah. And it gives you the opportunity, if it is incorrect, to fix it. Yeah. Because now you can realize, oh my goodness, it was affecting my life, but I wasn't aware of it. And in times where things are not going as perfectly as you'd like, your credit score isn't perfect, at least you know to what degree and what actions you can take. So the key is always being empowered, and when you're empowered, you can make a difference.
Yeah, tighten up. Cash is king.
Yes.
Just so that you can have a good credit score. Thank you very much for being here today.
Good to be here, Jeannie.
It's always a pleasure seeing you. Now, blacklisting seems to be a term that can be quite misleading, and it's quite important that we all have access to our financial information. Please do go and check out Pulse from DirectAxis to find out more about your credit ratings and how you can improve it.